Let's troubleshoot conflicting answers. What happens when we get a yes and a no, or we sway backward then forward, or forward then backward? What does that mean when we get both a yes and a no, or we ask, is this in my highest good and best interest, and get a yes, and then ask, is this good for me to do, and get a no? All right. Like, what happens when we get answers like that, when we rephrase the question to get more clarity, and then we get the opposite, And so instead of validating our answer, we step into a space of maybe I don't really know what I'm doing, right? Rest assured, this is 100% normal. This was actually my biggest block when I was learning to muscle test. So good job if you're here. It's fantastic that you're here. And let me talk about these answers. As I have done this, I have realized that my answers have been much more accurate than I thought, but sometimes there is an element of gray area or a wishy-washy answer. So I'm going to explain a few reasons why there might be a wishy-washy answer. And first, I'm going to explain to you what yes and no actually could all mean. All right. And this is where I ran into some snags. And so I'm going to help you navigate through these. All right. So what does the no answer mean? First of all, no could mean no, right? No could mean the answer to that is no, right? Just clear as day, right? No. Another thing that no could mean would be it's not something you're supposed to know, right? So if you ask something about the future, about somebody else who hasn't given you permission to work on you, which don't do it, but if you were to do that and you get a no to whatever the question is, you might say, well, I got an answer about the future and it was no. Well, maybe the no was just that you weren't supposed to ask, right? There are plenty of other things that we are not meant to ask at this time that you may get a no for. All right. So for example, maybe I'm not ready to take the next step in what I'm doing without clearing some of this clutter or becoming really good at muscle testing. And so maybe the answer is no, not right now. All right. No could mean no, not right now. No, it's not for you to know right now. Right. So no could mean all those things. No could also mean, no, that's not the right question. Please rephrase it. All right. And I will give you an answer here I share this situation all the time. When I was first learning to muscle test, I was learning with emotions and I was learning with essential oils. All right, I really love essential oils. So one day I was just asking, is there an essential oil that would be really beneficial for me to use? And I got a yes. And then I alphabetically went through swaying for A, B, C, D. Okay, so I get to L and I get a yes for L. And I discovered that it was lemongrass essential oil. And so I said, does my body need lemongrass? And I got a yes. And then I just wanted to ask that validating question and say, is lemongrass the essential oil I need? And I got a no. That was so frustrating. So I did it again. I asked, is lemongrass what I need? And I got a yes. And then I said, okay, so do I need lemongrass? Okay. All right. So I was getting pretty frustrated with this and ready to throw my hands up in the air. And then I had this moment of clarity in my mind that said, just try a different essential oil then. So I decided to. And this time I went up to the letter P and I got to the purification, the purify blend. And I asked, do I need purify? And I got a yes. And then I asked, is purify the essential oil I need? And I got a yes. Okay. And then I was like, okay, well, at least I got an accurate on this. And I turn around the bottle to see what the essential oils in this blend are, and lemongrass is in it. So yes, I very much needed lemongrass, but I needed it blended in with these other essential oils. Okay, I share that story because I could have just chosen to throw my hands up and get frustrated because my answers were inaccurate. But I, fortunately, it's probably God and angels calming my brain down and saying, no, 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 there's a reason for this. All right. So just know that there is a reason for this. In fact, if you get to the point where some of your answers always seem to be accurate and others don't ever seem to be accurate, it could just mean that you are meant to go in the direction of the accurate answers, and that the direction of the inaccurate answers, just like remember what they are and remember what you have muscle tested, but don't pursue that. Maybe it's not time for you to know that. Maybe it's not in your highest good and best interest to know that. So what does a yes mean? We talked about what a no means. What does a yes mean? And yes can mean yes. All right. A yes could also mean that you're going the right direction. It's like, yes, yes, you're on the right track. So I could, think, okay, am I dealing with an emotion that, that I am is really causing me a lot of frustration? And I could get a yes, and then I get into that and it's like, yes, yes. Okay. So that helps me narrow down the direction I'm going. And maybe it wasn't an emotion. Maybe it was just a feeling. Maybe it was just feeling yucky and there wasn't really an emotion attached to it. But because I went that direction, I was able to get to the answer ultimately. So sometimes we get a yes from our subconscious as like, yes, you're on the right track, whether or not the end result is actually a yes from the start to finish. Does that make sense? So keep at it. It just means you're not going to be wrong going this direction, right? So keep at it doing that. All right. And so yes could mean yes. Yes could mean that you're on the right track. Yes could mean that the doors are open for you to ask these types of questions. So yes could mean all of that. So when you muscle test and you get a yes and a no, then a yes, then just know that there's a part of that question that you can know more about, and part of the question that maybe you need to rephrase or is not something you should know right now. And just go with the yes. Chase that yes. The yes will lead you in the ways that are the best way for you to go. So don't get too caught up in the no's, just follow the yeses and you'll eventually learn why you're getting the answers you are. All right, the yeses will become clearer. They will lead you in the way that's best for you to go. So just be patient. Know that every answer you get for a reason. And it's hard to see that when you're first starting out because there's a lot of frustration and I don't get this and this is brand new to me. But over time, looking back, I've realized how accurate my answers have been. Just, the questions could have been a little bit improved or different, or I should have pursued more of the yeses, right? So just be patient with yourself. Hopefully this helps, and thanks for watching.